Good morning and welcome to Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Code. We have often seen that we want to think of something, want to contemplate, and our mind is so confused that we can't do it. The reason is simple. The mind is confused because the brain has not been able to process our thoughts properly. Imagine you declutter your home when you wanted to start working from home. You declutter your home to clean it up, to give it better presentation. Then you declutter your mind. But have we ever thought that we need to declutter our brain? From the moment we first open our eyes in the morning to the moment we go to the bed, we are confronted with a barrage of decisions. What clothes to wear, what to take for dinner, which is the fastest route to take to work today. Our minds are often full of continuous stream of tasks, and that takes a toll of our mental well-being. And with so much of information coming from different sources, from news, social media, family background, our brains feel completely overwhelmed. And in other words, the brain is so overloaded that our information processing system starts slowing down. And you sit down to work in front of your computer, you will find yourself too overwhelmed to focus. Your head is stuck, you are mentally paralyzed. The truth is, our mind isn't at its best or its most creative when it's being held under the weight of thousands of tasks and projects. So, it's better to clear your mind, free up space, defragment and optimize the drive of your brain, and that will help you both physically and mentally and allow the creative ideas to flow freely without impediment, without any obstruction. So how to do it? Well, it's not very difficult. As a matter of fact, is it just 3 exercises you have got to do to conduct a brain dump that will quieten your minds. First thing you have got to remember is that you have got to do regular brain dump. And how do you do it? It has to be done the first thing in the morning. The exercises might take only 10 minutes, but it will help you empty or clarify or consolidate the relevant material, shift the irrelevant one, and the negative thoughts that streamline your focus. They are an impediment to streamline your focus would be there. What you would be focusing on would be what matters most. Take a few minutes to write down on paper that's weighing you down, letting your mind flow freely onto the page. Now, if you think that keeping everything you need to know neatly packed away in the head is a smart way to run your life, you are probably hurting your productivity and stifling your creativity. You have got to shift consciously, objectively. I've heard people who insist on storing everything in their heads, but I like to remind them, keeping those ongoing mental lists leaves little room for the spark of the new ideas to flourish. Have you seen that when you have a garden and you give proper space to the flowers, they bloom better and bloom more? And if it's true of flowers, it's true of your brain as well. And then there's another benefit of jotting down things that you can review what needs to be done in the moment prioritize things, and take steps to resolving the issues straight away rather than perpetually procrastinating. So this is the most important thing. Writing down, prioritizing, shifting the important from unimportant, and many times shifting the urgent from important. We always think of urgent things. This is very urgent, let's do it. No. The things may be urgent, but it may not be important, so you can ignore it. The second point I like to let you know and understand is try embracing passivity. These life coaches, mentors, self-help guides, gurus, they have given passivity a bad reputation. I'm not referring to becoming a conformist who lacks initiative. No way. What I'm advocating and advising you to do is embracing quiet reflection and doing things absolutely nothing for some time. There must be a moment for you, and that moment should be of doing nothing. I talked earlier that you should know the quality, the benefit of doing nothing, if you remember that. So that is the time for quiet reflection, thought. Let your thoughts flow, unimpeded, unobstructed, unrestricted. In other words, you disconnect from the distractions that clutter your mind and give space for your mind to create a new pathway. So have passivity. You see, what happens is that we tend to generate redundant ideas when we don't take regular breaks. And if you are hesitant to break away because you feel you are on a roll, being mindful, it might be a false impression. Regular breaks of passivity and contemplation are important. Your brain needs downtime to remain industrious and generate better ideas. And our tragedy in the modern world is that we don't understand that. We think that we can tax our brain continuously, and imagine we live in a world of automobiles. We take care of the car, the preventive maintenance. The engine should not be overheated. Have we ever thought of the maintenance of our bodies and brains? No. The next point, which is extremely important and almost always ignored, surround yourself with nature. I repeat, surround yourself with nature. I remember Albert Einstein, the famous physicist, once said, if we look deep into nature, then we'll understand everything better. So connectivity with nature sharpens our vision, heightens our reception, makes us better human beings. Nature has been a healing and restoring to me. It's a balm in my life. And I have been fortunate enough to count beautiful gardens in my home, lush trees, blooming flowers, whether when I was, wherever I have been. And on the days when my mind is overloaded with work, I just sit outside and simply take the beauty of the scenery. Now, even I'm in a condominium, but just outside my window is a beautiful garden. I look out the window every 20 minutes and I find it. Some of the most creative ideas have come from engaging with nature. And they come either through leisurely walks in the park or by just smelling flowers, watching butterflies flip from one side to the other, or sometimes taking the shears and paring the trees. And I find that there is no better antidote for a cluttered mind. And that Japanese system of forest bathing is an excellent one. You go and embrace the trees. Become one with the trees, the thought. In fact, it has been proven medically that spending time in nature relieves tension and also attention fatigue. It also increases your creativity. So if you've been using your brain to multitask, and that's a thing which is extremely harmful these days, but still almost all of us do it most of the days, then you should set aside some time, go for a walk, without your telephone, without any gadget, and let your prefrontal cortex discover nature. You would see the burst in creativity, better problem solvers. You will have a feeling of well-being. And the last step is honor your passions. We always try to suppress our passions, whether we are ashamed of them or we think that they are not enough to be talked about. Consider this scenario. When you lay awake at night, going over your next day to-do list, how often are you including things that make you come alive? It is more likely that you are thinking of emails to respond, unfinished home repairs, childcare responsibilities, and million other things. All of these obligations are important. I'm not saying they are not important, but they are not the flashes of creativity which come and you crush them. And these flashes of the creativity come to you spontaneously in the quiet time, and therefore push to the back of your mind. Now, if you are connecting with nature, that is the second benefit of connecting with nature, that you will have flashes of creativity and your passion would be fueled by that, fed by that. We are doing much but killing our passion. And also because we burden our mind with endless tasks. Individuals who are passionate for their work, whether they are scientists or poets, entrepreneurs or operation managers, anything, are able to use energy afforded by their passion as a motivator for their work. So feed your passion, fuel it, and your passion will make your brain clear, your ideas would sprout, you would be a much better human being. When you honor your passion, as a matter of fact, then you help tap into your emotions and boost your creative genius. But that's only possible provided you allow yourself the space to pay attention. We restrict our attention, as I said earlier, to urgent and not to the important. And that's the biggest impediment. So when you open your eyes first thing in the morning, rather than rehearse your multitude of to-dos, remember to reflect. Reflect on the ideas that enliven you. Ideas that fill your cup with a meaning. Those are the ones which should be at the top of the list. So these simple techniques would help you declutter your brain. And this, in other words, is doing a brain dump. We have to dump all the clutter outside. Until and unless we are able to do it, our minds would not function the way they should function. And if they don't function the way they should function, then of course we are nowhere. So, writing down, prioritizing, embracing passivity, feeding your passion, and connecting with nature. You would see, if you do that, you would be so creative that you will marvel why you did not do it earlier. And the sooner you adopt it, the better you shall be as a human being, as an entrepreneur, as a social activist, as a family member, as a human being. Thank you.